That was then. This is now. Read it. You know how to read? Filipinos can speak English better than you can speak Visayan or Tagalog. But it's a prison. The whole series of islands is a prison. It was run by Duterte. 230, he did the vax. So you see, the Spanish and the reptiles got there first. All right, they're reptilian, Rh negative heavy. Those precious people were over there eating coconuts and mango, and over they came. But it goes back to Sagada. You got to go up north of Baguio. You see, Russell Volksman figured shit out during World War II. He was a counter-guerrilla mastermind, and those prick Japanese got a whole bunch of villagers from Vegan City and told them they were going to be pretend friends of the Americans. And they did. They infiltrated and they were operating. And bad shit was happening. So he traced the route lines to them. They called all those members in for a meeting. There was a captain there, some, American guy, who said, okay, we got a problem here, you guys. No one's leaving here till you tell us what the fuck's going on. So everybody shut up. Then the leader jumped up and ran. Well, he got Billy the Kidded. See, I shot a guy in the back too. He was a sheriff. I told him not to run. He did. In this case, the guy was a dead man anyway, so they compromised, and that was that. But this incident had to do with Magellan and circumcision. And guess what? Lapu Lapu is the grouper. Now let's continue. I've been to Mactan many times. It's a long bridge from Cebu proper over to Mactan. The island's wonderful, and the beaches have been developed better than Disney World. I'll show you a place or two. But this is true history.
On the 27th of April each year, the bravery of a certain Filipino hero is celebrated throughout the country. But who was this man, and what exactly did he do to warrant such an accolade? This is the story of Lapu Lapu and his resistance against the Spanish Empire. Lapu Lapu was one of two datus of the island of Mactan, which in 1521 was part of the realm
That's
of
Cebu, the big long cigar.
Sugbo, which was ruled by Raja Humabon, and remember his name because we'll come back to him, is the old name for what we today call the Filipino province of Cebu in the Visayas region of the Philippines. We know that Lapu Lapu was part of the Filipino nobility social class, and that he had likely come from the neighboring island of Borneo and was awarded island in Mactan to populate. Although technically an outsider, the locals of Mactan accepted Lapu Lapu as one of their own. He fiercely defended the island against pirates, protected his people, and helped the island prosper economically. Now, in 1521, Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan, who was under the employ of the Spanish crown, stumbled upon the island of Samar.
Think about 1492 in Columbus.
He struck up alliances with the local rulers, one of which was Raja Humabon. Not only did he gain their friendship, but he managed to convince Humabon and his wife to convert to Catholicism, changing his name to Don Carlos in the process. I think I can understand how Magellan must
Simon
have
became
himself
Peter.
Supernatural or above the local peoples. The ease with which he was able to convert Raja Humabon, who was
Roman
supposedly
Catholicism
the ruler of
is
this
very
land,
deep.
must have made him
They
feel
get annulments
powerful.
there, but that's no
Magellan
good.
was eager to spread
They don't get
Catholicism
it. They
to all
don't get
neighboring
nothing.
islands and
They get
regions
separated.
in Cebu.
Stop.
So after converting Raja Humabon, tribute was requested from all leaders in the region.
The government and the church have merged for marriages.
In recognition of the Spanish crown. And all leaders complied, including the other datu of the island of Mactan, whose name was Zula. Lapu Lapu, however, declined to send tribute. He didn't want anything to do with the Spaniards, and his defiance couldn't go unpunished. Raja Humabon is thought to be the one to entice the Spaniards to attack Lapu Lapu, which of course Magellan complied with. But there's quite an interesting theory by the historian William Henry Scott, who notes that Magellan makes the mistake of thinking that the region operated under the same principle as European kingdoms, where a king would rule over all regional vassals. So, with Raja Humabon converted, it's fair to think that Magellan believed that he could convert everyone, because surely they would want to follow their king, so to speak. What Magellan failed to realize is that although Raja Humabon was recognized as the island's ruler, he wasn't really a king as we think of royalty today, as the region operated more on a chiefdom basis, so his rule
There's a
over
really
the
nice
island
golf
was
course on
limited.
the west
So here is
coast
the
of
question.
that
Was
island.
Raja Humabon simply
Been
using
all
the
over.
Spaniards as a way to attack Lapu Lapu, who he had been quarreling with and fighting with for some time? Did he make Magellan think that Lapu Lapu was his vassal simply to start a war? A force of around 60 Spaniards and some warriors provided by Humabon set sail for Mactan. This, of course, was the lead-up to the Battle of Mactan, where Lapu Lapu would set his name in stone.
The Air
Before we
Force
go
has
on,
a
we must point out that
I mean,
most
shit.
of the information
There's an
we
airport
have on the
there,
event is from an Italian
co-located
chap
with
named
the Air Force
Antonio
military.
Pigafetta. He was an explorer that was part of Magellan's expedition and was in charge of noting the
Beautiful
voyages
golf
and
course.
events. Pigafetta notes that upon arriving in Mactan, Magellan's ships could not land on the island due to corals and rocks. He also stated that Lapu Lapu stood with 1,500 men armed with swords, bows, and spears. But of course, this figure could be hyperinflated. We don't exactly know. Magellan once again tells Lapu Lapu to swear fealty to Raja Humabon, recognize the Spanish crown, and pay tribute. Lapu Lapu declines and taunts Magellan to fight. Magellan waits until morning and tells the native warriors that Raja Humabon had provided him to stay on the boat. It's unclear why he does this, but perhaps he wants to show off the superiority of European armory and weaponry.
Perhaps
so
he was
and
scared
49
shitless.
heavily armored Spaniards jump off the boats and wade their way to shore to meet Lapu Lapu. Once
like
on
Marlon
shore,
Perkins.
Magellan and his men light
I'll
some
stay
huts
here
of
while
fire,
Jim
hoping to
checks the
scare
rhino.
warriors, but this only angers Lapu Lapu more. He orders his men to attack Magellan, swiftly killing 2 Spaniards in one fell swoop. Magellan orders a retreat, but it's a little too late. The natives recognize him as the leader and aim for his legs, where he gets hit by a poisoned dart and soon becomes overwhelmed by Lapu Lapu's warriors.
Yeah.
Some of the Spaniards are able to flee, including Pigafetta, who
It's the
journals
GPS, though, the Magellan.
famous explorer
So we must have
Ferdinand
forgot
Magellan is
on the other
killed
side of the
and
world.
defeated on the shores of Mactan, and Lapu Lapu resists the invaders for a little longer.
Gets
Now,
you
there is
lost.
plenty of
That's taking your
speculation
car.
as
Oops.
to what truly transpired during the battle and what drove it. Some historians believe that Lapu Lapu was actually angry at the Spaniards, who wanted him to bend the knee to Raja Humabon, even though he considered him to be inferior, whilst some say that Raja Humabon simply used the Spaniards to try and kill Lapu Lapu, who had reportedly started pirating merchant ships that came into
Gotta
Cebu.
love this nation. Gotta love
Earth
Manny
region
Pacquiao. He forgave
As
his
with a lot of
posse.
history, we
Filipinos.
simply don't know for sure.
And those
And
women win the
probably
Miss
never
Universe
will.
contest
But
when
either
they were
way,
having them.
this event and
A Donald
Lapu-Lapu's
Trump
bravery
owned
gave
Miss
birth to
America. No, he owned Miss Universe, the prick. So let's close this out with Orange Head, Clockwork Orange, the man of the near miss. Let me tell you about the wall. Dick, zing, oh boy, was he fucking scared. They almost got him. From the planet Zeradia in Orion, he came. Yes, angels are ET. So the Spanish are the reptilian draconians. Eat my body, drink my blood. Filipinos are born innocent over there in Naga, saying, what are you doing? We only have spears and stuff. And you're going to be schwacked with your armor. But, you know, they just keep coming with the popes and the doctrine. And away you go. That was in the 1500s. Nostradamus was drawing pictures then. You know any? But I'd like to show you 1 or 2 resorts on that beautiful island. Yep. Beep.